Awesome. Hey, congratulations on making it through the whole seminar and the masterclass, and I mean everything. It's so amazing. And the films, I mean, it's just everything that you've gone through. Literally, like, the content that you just went through has just changed my entire life, and like so many students, and I am just so ridiculously excited for you to get your hands on it. And so, like, I know that, like, as you come to the final here, we finish up this course and this class and everything that you've been going through and everything that you'll go through, like, I just want to say congratulations, because what you've done is you've literally, like, put your social skills above 99% of the population just by focusing your energy, focusing your being, focusing your efforts on improving yourself. So many people, they literally don't even take the first step to try to learn about this stuff. And, you know, I'll rant to them all day about how, like, My Little Pony has changed my life, completely shifted the direction and the growth and the development of my social skills. And, like, not even ask them to get my class, and they won't even, like, look up, they won't even Google the stuff. And it's a lot of it's, like, social stigma. A lot of it's just, I don't even know, man. I know when I first got into it, I was like, dude, are you serious? We're going to, like, watch ponies? But, dude, that was a really, really long time ago. And ever since then, like, everything has just, like, fundamentally shifted in all aspects of my life. And it's just been freaking amazing, which is why I'm just so passionate, so excited, really, to get this to you. And so I really hope it's had the same impact on you that it's had on all the students I've taught it to and other people I've talked to about this that have been through this process with me over the past 5 or so years, that have really been going through this content, because they've had literally the exact same life-changing effects that's sort of been going on here, and that are going to continue to grow over time and just can expand and expand and expand and expand and expand. Which is just, like, super, super excited. So I hope you're as excited as I am to be wrapping this up. Like, it's a shame, but they just do such a phenomenal job. And so I'm really, really happy. I want to give you guys a special little bonus here. There's a little series that the team did after all of the movies, called Magical Movie Night. And this one's on Netflix. You probably saw it when you were looking around earlier, or maybe you didn't, I don't know. They have, like, you know, obviously, like, Hasbro's a company, and they're going to keep making content. And I've seen, like, there's a lot more there's, like, hours and days of content out there. And I've been through all of them, and it's entertaining as heck. I mean, I love it. But to take sort of the biggest overarching lessons from basically everything that's left out there, this really hits home and just freaking blows it out of the park. With some of the last overarching lessons, I think, are kind of the most important ones to take away. Everything else, you know, they have shorts and they have series and that kind of stuff, but it's mostly just entertainment, which is totally cool. But I'm really here to get you guys honed in, get you guys pumped, get you guys going on the education. And that's why, you know, for most of this, it's not like, you know, go watch a TV show, because I really want to kind of condense it down so you can have a faster growth curve. And instead of just being like, go watch a TV show, it's like, here's literally what I've been synthesizing and considering and like actually applying from these, you know, content from these episodes over the past half century, and being distilled down into a very disciplined and set form of principles that form an extremely productive and high output personality that fundamentally can change your entire life. And that's the goal with it, right? It's so much more than, you know, winning friends and influence people, because it's a fundamental shift in, like, who you are when you wake up every single morning saying, you know what, today is the best day ever. And if you have gone through this entire thing, if you've been taking notes, if you've been studying, if you've been watching, like, diligently, and you can't honestly say with all these lessons that you've learned that every single morning is phenomenal, then hopefully this can tip you over the edge, and hopefully some of the music, or maybe go through some of the most impactful, the most emotional parts of this again, because this stuff, it's just game changer. And so I really do hope that it's kind of having the impact that it's had on really everyone that I've shown it to, as it is on you. I mean, you come and join this group, join this community. It's just really, really, really cool stuff. So with that said, this was a little special that they did. It's got like I think they're like hour-long episodes. I watched probably 2 or 3, 4 times just to really get deep on them and understand them. And they're phenomenal. They're really, really cool. So we're going to go through sort of some of the biggest points in this bonus, and then that'll be that. So yeah, the first one is called Dance Magic. Super, super, super fun. The way this starts out is after, basically these are all after friendship games, after all the movies. And so there's been, like, you know, this huge conflict between everything. And, you know, everyone's, like, fighting and trying to figure out who's the best. And so the way that this little clip, this short starts out, it's kind of like it's basically a length movie. The way it starts out is you've got like Candlelight High with the main 6, basically, like, and you've got the Twilight from, the people world. And then in a totally separate realm, you have all of the kids from Crystal Prep, right? So you have sort of this separation, this distinction by social group, right? So you have these differing social groups, which are like really, really powerful. I mean, if you've ever done anything in society, I mean, you can kind of feel the tension between sort of differing ideas, differing ideologies, different backgrounds, right? Backgrounds are huge because, if you can't identify with somebody's background, then it's going to be kind of tough to actually connect with them, right? Because the whole goal with anything is just build rapport, right? And this connection right here is based on rapport. It's based on respect, mutual respect, and collaboration, right? Because the goal, right, is to build this collective mastermind so that you can output more than you could ever achieve on your own, or you could ever achieve if it's just a small group. You can do so much more as a large group. And so sort of the barriers, the hurdles that you have to overcome a lot are like different backgrounds, similarly like different interests, right? Or sort of like different levels of, social status. So in this example, right, you've got CHS who have sort of a lower perceived social status than, these guys going to a private school and all that stuff. And so you have some of these barriers that you need to overcome at the beginning so that you can actually link these two social groups and bring them together as a collective. Because as you guys know, the collective is so much stronger than the individual could ever dream to be. And that applies to groups as well as individuals, right? It doesn't matter if you're like 1 or 2 or 3 people versus 6, 7, 8 people. You're going to be more powerful the more people are in that mastermind, which is just a fundamental fact, right? And so really, really important that you can actually overcome challenges in backgrounds or challenges in interests, challenges in statuses, so that you can bring everyone together and then have that overarching project that you want to work on. So in this example, they're like, there's this mall, right? And they're kind of walking through the mall, whatever. And they see this big poster up on the wall. And the poster says, hey, there's a huge dance competition. And the winner of this dance competition gets, I think it was like, I don't know if they said exactly what it was. I feel like it was something like 5 or 10K. I'm not 100% sure. But basically, like, they get this big cash prize. And all you have to do is you have to make like a music video. And you have to kind of dance around in your music video and sing like a song. And that's the challenge. And so both of these teams, right? You got team 1, you got team 2, and then there's a ton of other teams, but no one really focuses on them just because they're not, part of the main plot right here, which is totally cool, totally normal, and works out really, really well. And so the episode starts off with the main 6. We're following them, and they're trying to prepare, right? So you've got each of these individuals trying to contribute their own special way. So you got like Rarity making dresses, Rainbow trying to like play new guitar songs. Everybody's contributing to this collective circle in whatever way that they can, so that they can actually, have the best song possible, have the best music video, and everyone's trying to synchronize dancing, get everything together, and they're just practicing, to go 100% and to just do their best. That's the foundation. They just want to go as hard as they can, and hopefully they're going to crush it. And that's their goal. That's their foundation, and that's really just all they do. And then these guys from Crystal Prep, like they didn't really have like anything to do at the beginning. They were kind of confused. They didn't really understand, what they could do to win this competition. And I think it's really important to take a minute here and step back and look at their actual underlying motivations, because motivations are really the key to any kind of success. Like if you want to get that result, you've got to have the right motivation to do it. Like, why do you want to get rich? I don't know. It would be cool. Like, that person is probably not going to be as successful as somebody who has this very established, defined reason, this vision for their future, and this idea of exactly where they want to be in their life. It's a very fundamental, stark difference. So for Crystal Prep, right, they really, really want to win so that they can go on a spring break cruise. That's like their goal. That's their one thing. That's exactly what they want. And similarly, with the main 6 in Candlelight, like they want to win so that they can renovate their gym. So both of them have like goals that are much larger than, we just want money. Like they have that end result. They have that thing that they're thinking of in their mind that's standing up on a pedestal and calling the group, calling everybody to this end goal. And so they all have this collective unification, which is really, really powerful. And it's what will allow these guys to get to this goal. It's what will allow the main six to get here. It's all about this idea that they have sort of this one little thing that they're focusing on, that they really, really desire. And they understand that in order to, climb this path, in order to get here, they need to win the prize money. So these guys come together and they do something I think is pretty sweet. They look at the potential upside here and they say, okay, well, we should invest in ourselves. We should invest in our costumes. We should invest, they started a car wash in the beginning and they made like $500. They said, we should invest our money in making a really awesome dance video, having really awesome costumes and all that stuff. And so they go to the store and they they invest like all their money into this project, into this music video, and they put everything they have into this, and they go all in because they know that they have the potential. They can make it happen and they can have the success, right? So they're focusing on their area of expertise, their skill. I mean, they're very, very skilled artists and singers and dancers, and so because of that, they understand that this is really a smart investment for them. And so they go all in, they practice, and after like 4 weeks, they have a really, really killer routine. And then these guys come over here. And these guys, remember, they don't really have a routine. They don't really have anything to do. And in all reality, they're kind of lost in this competition. And they're fretting because they're not going to be able to win the money for their end goal, right, for their cruise, for their entire school. This is, the gym is for the entire school. It's not just for them. They have sort of a goal that's dragged up, pulling them up from society, right, because everybody wants this end goal. And so they come to this practice of the main six, and they're doing their practice, and basically they spy on the practice, and they literally copy exactly what they're doing. Copy their outfits, copy their music, copy their routine, copy their style, their synchronization. Every single part of their video, of their music, they copy, and they steal. And they go back home, and they do the worst thing possible. They come together, and they reproduce the entire thing. And then they submit it to the dance competition. And now, as the main six are walking through this mall, and they're trying to finish everything, they're very, very close to being done with everything that they have, and having that end achievement, having that end goal, and turning in their video, and getting, attempting to win this prize money. They walk past this giant monitor, and on this giant monitor, the video of these guys at Crystal Prep dancing and doing the exact same project that they were doing. The exact same thing. And these guys, they get furious. And they do kind of something it's harsh, and it's not a good thing to do, but it's also a natural reaction. They get pissed. And they go up to them and say, why'd you steal our video? What the heck? And these guys basically blow them off. And they say, hey, you know what? It's going to look like you copied us if you try to do your video. Ooh, sucks for you. And just a really, really harsh, kind of mean thing to do. It's just not great. And after this happens, they realize that they've put everything they have into this concept, into this idea, and all their assets, all their investable capital is basically gone. I mean, they can't. I mean, the competition ends in about a day, and they can't start an entire new fundraiser and do the whole thing again. It's taken them weeks to get here, and now everything they have has been just destroyed. Except there's one thing. These guys, they might have copied them, and they might have stolen their idea, and they might have made it look, to them, to CHS or to the main six, that they are going to absolutely crush their video. But in reality, behind the scenes, these guys are falling apart. They are completely inept and totally incapable of producing the same quality content, the same song, the same music, the same video as these guys, because they frankly just don't have the skills. And even on the outside, it looks like they're going to copy them really, really well and they're going to succeed. On the inside, when the doors close and when the main six leave, these guys are falling apart. They're freaking out and they have no clue what they're going to do. Because on their own, they have no way to actually accomplish this video. Their skills are not aligned with the task of this competition, and they don't know what they're going to do. And so what happens, and I'll erase some of this to sort of simplify it for you, you have two big primary groups here. Both of them are at a total and complete loss. And essentially it looks like they're both going to forfeit and lose because they don't really have any sort of way to achieve success in this competition. And they're both almost immediately look like they have no chance of winning. They're going to fail this competition and not be able to reach their goals, which is harsh. That sucks. And then something really, 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 really powerful happens. In sort of a stroke of luck, these guys, they see each other struggling, they understand each other's challenges, and they also know that they really, really want to get to this end goal right here. And they do something that's very tough to do, and yet, if you can do this, it'll change everything. And it'll fundamentally shift the way that others look at you, and most significantly, the output and the impact that you can actually have. And these guys, the main six, they stand back, they look at the situation, they see what's going on here, and they realize that the cash over here, the prize, is actually enough for both of their goals. They could go on a cruise and renovate the gym. They could do both. And herein lays the power of the word and. Because as soon as you stop thinking of this, or me or you, or them or us, and you start thinking in terms of and, what happens is you start to understand that there are collaborative, collective ways to have greater levels of achievement. And instead of trying to maybe take 3/4 of the pie or 80% of the pie, right? You look at, you got your pie right here, and instead of trying to take, 90% of the pie and have all this, all you have to do is find a way to very, very simply expand the pie. And now you can just have like half of the pie. You can have 1/4 of the pie, and you'll still be way, 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 way better off than you could have ever even dreamed of on your own. You look at Jeff Bezos. He owns 17% of Amazon, something like around that bout. Now, do you think it was hard for him to give up almost, over 80% of his company? I think that was probably difficult to do. Do you think he's more wealthy because of it? Because I guarantee if he owned 100% of Amazon, is no freaking way it would be worth even maybe 100th of what it's worth today. And yet because he was willing to share, because he was willing to expand, because he was willing to grow, because he was willing to let others in and collaborate with them and give up part of the pie, but make the pie 10 times bigger, you're going to have greater success. You're going to have greater impact. You watch Shark Tank. These guys literally take on investors that 20x the pie and only take a little tiny chunk out of it. When if they just took a chunk out at the beginning, it would be tiny compared to the overarching pie, the actual huge picture that you can have when you simply focus on collaborating with others. Even if it's this right here, you have two groups here splitting it down the middle. Like that's a much larger pie than, second place or third place or fourth place or fifth place. And this pie could honestly be completely non-existent if they don't even submit a quality video in the first place. And so what you're looking at here is almost an infinite difference in the actual gain available to these guys, because they could lose everything if they don't come together and figure out a way to make the pie bigger and split it. And that's exactly what they do, because they realize that this is plenty of money for both of them. This is a large pie, and it's one that logically makes sense to collaborate on, because individually they might have a teeny little chance of getting a little sliver of this pie, but together they stand high odds of actually achieving the entire pie. They get everything. They get the whole shebang. They win the prize as a unit and as a group and as a collective, because together they can have so much more output than they could have as an isolated individual. And so what they do is they come together and they put aside their differences and they forget about this barrier that they used to have, this hatred that they had with each other. And very, very slowly start to bond, start to come together. And they start to say, maybe we could work together, because we don't really have anything except for the ability to destroy you. But that doesn't really help us if we destroy you. And these guys say, that's cool, and we're kind of having troubles too. And they weren't really able to get the choreography done perfectly. Even though they were really great at the music, that just wasn't their strength. And they say, hey, could you help us with that? And they realize that they've got this project they're working on, and if they kind of split it down the middle, and they split it in different ways, then they can actually all work on their unique abilities and their number one skills, and they're going to create a much, much, much greater output by simply working together as different individuals, different teams linked by a common goal of winning this competition. They're going to get so much more achieved right here than they could ever even dream of on their own. And so that's exactly what they do. They decide to put aside their differences and come together as a unit so that they can actually have this really, really, really big pie. So they can have everything together, and they can have the success that they want as a team. And as soon as that happens, they create a phenomenal, outstanding end product that absolutely blows away expectations and looks amazing for everyone that sees it, and it wins them the competition. They win the prize, and they have their big cruise, they have the renovation, everything that they want, all the fundraising that they need, everything gets achieved. They accomplish together their end goal, and they reach the top of that tower as a team and as a unit, and that's a goal that they really, really probably could not have achieved on their own. It's just so powerful, because they take a minute, they step back, and they look at how they can both succeed, how they can both work together, and how they can both have the biggest impact that they desire, not by being enemies, but instead by shifting their perspectives and sort of embracing the humility of saying, you know what, maybe you guys aren't that worst. Maybe we made mistakes. Maybe, there are challenges that we need to overcome together so that we can actually have a quality relationship instead of hating each other every day. That's a difficult thing to say. That's a difficult proposition to make. It's tough to come up to, people that have been your mortal enemy and you've grown up as mortal enemies, and to say, hey, I'm going to extend my hand to you in friendship. That's a difficult thing to do. And yet if you can make that leap, if you can make that jump, if you can extend that hand, it'll allow you to really, really bring together the power of and it'll allow you to reach these end goals that you desire as a team, as a group, and to have massive, massive levels of impact, success, development, and achievement that you might not have had on your own. And to sort of perpetuate this and to show you the impact this can have, I want to finish this section off with the song that they actually make together as a team. Now remember, before what you're about to see, these guys, they were literally like the Crystal Prep School. They were like trying to fret together guitars, and they literally couldn't make a sound come out of their music. It was really bad. And similarly with the main six, they were tripping all over each other, and they were making huge messes everywhere. They couldn't dance for their lives. And what I want you to look at when you when you see this, and when you finish this off, is I want you to look at how they collaborate with each other. I want to look at how these different social groups who at the beginning were separated come together and they merge. And as they merge, their cultures, their appearances, their collaboration, everything comes together, and they're able to accentuate each other's uniqueness and their own skills, and in effect create a much, much, much greater output by combining diversity and also the individual skills that they have, so they can all accentuate their skills while creating the best end product, and only working as long as they need to actually put out that main ability. So really, really, really focus here on how the groups were together, and keep in mind that just a couple of weeks before this, they were literally enemies. And from this point forward, this team building, this bonding, this goal, this experience that they have together right here will form friendships that last throughout literally the rest of time. And it shows in some of the extra series and some of that stuff. But these guys, they stick together after this, because one team building activity, one collaboration, one goal, one effort like this can fundamentally shift your entire friendship with yourself or with those around you, which is really, really powerful. So with that said, here's the clip.
Light, camera, action! I feel it stirring deep down inside my soul. The rhythm's taking hold and it's about to roll. A million sparkles falling across the floor. So DJ, give it more. It's what we're looking for. Dance the night away. All our friends right by our side. It doesn't matter what style you bring. We're about to go on that ride. It's dance magic. Once you have it, let your body move. Step into the music. It's dance magic, and it's electric. Let your body move to the music. Doesn't matter what style you got, just keep dancing on that spot. Your friends like you for who you are. Dance queen on the scene, superstar. Crystal Prep, you got the moves. Ring boom, bringing all the grooves. Put it together and make it fit. Crystal ring boom, dance magic.